Hey, what's happening guys? This is Shukesh. Before I start the video, I want to share with you something very important. First of all, the battery health of my OnePlus 8T is not as good as before. It's now shutting down even with 4 or 5% battery left. So definitely the 65 watt warp charger is to blame. OnePlus did a very clever thing with its OnePlus 9 Pro, which is also having the same battery as OnePlus 8T and also the same charger. OnePlus is actually keeping some battery levels in reserve. While preparing for the video, I have noticed that the last 1% was taking much longer than usual. I was using the phone for around 15 minutes. I in fact used the camera for a while. Still the phone wasn't shutting down, and definitely they are keeping around 10 to 12% of its battery in reserve, so that after months of usage, when there is some damage on the battery due to the first warp charger, you will not be seeing that affecting the battery charging level on the screen. That will be affecting only the reserve batteries, so you will not be complaining. And another interesting thing you will be seeing in this video, that in the first 5 minutes of charge, OnePlus 9 Pro is actually lagging behind OnePlus 8T, though OnePlus is claiming that 1 to 100% battery charge on the OnePlus 9 Pro will be in just 29 minutes, which is not even close to 0 to 100%, because 0 to 1% is taking around 4 to 5 minutes. In fact, the phone started showing the battery level at 3 minutes 40 seconds that I will show you in this video. And OnePlus 8T already crossed a 10% battery level when OnePlus 9 Pro started showing the battery level on screen. So definitely the battery level that is showing on the screen is not accurate. Stay tuned, watch the video, and at the end I will also show you a line graph discussing the characteristics of the battery charging of the 65 watt warp charger by OnePlus. So as you can see, the devices are connected to the respective chargers, which are basically the same 65 watt warp chargers. Let's start the stopwatch and turn on the power supply. As I mentioned before, both OnePlus 9 Pro, which is on my right, and OnePlus 8T, which is on my left, houses the same 4500 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery. Let me show you the current temperature, which is basically the room temperature, that is 28.4 degrees Celsius. I will be taking a reading every 5 minutes, so stay tuned. Well, one thing quite unusual I am noticing here on the OnePlus 9 Pro, that is on my right, that even after 3.5 minutes of charging, the battery level is not showing on the display. There you go, it's now at just 0%, whereas OnePlus 8T already crossed 12% battery. So the new 9 Pro is already far behind the outgoing 8T. Let's take the final reading at the 5 minutes mark. Guys, it's almost 5 minutes on the stopwatch and the phones are not overheated at all, very close to the room temperature, though 8T is slightly hotter than the 9 Pro. Now let's take the readings. So OnePlus 9 Pro is at just 3% battery level, which is actually much lower than the 17% battery level you are seeing on the OnePlus 8T. Now OnePlus claims that OnePlus 8T charges from 0 to 100% in just 39 minutes, which is somewhat true, at least when the device was brand new. But on the OnePlus 9 Pro, OnePlus claims that 1 to 100%, not 0 to 100% in 29 minutes. So definitely the first 1% is excluded intentionally. Now let's turn on the devices to create a real life scenario. Most of us will be charging our devices with the devices on, with a SIM card inserted, Wi-Fi data on, with location and auto rotation on. So these are the things I have enabled on both the OnePlus devices. It's also noticeable that OnePlus 9 Pro takes much longer to boot. I will make a speed test in between these two devices, so check the channel for that. The display resolutions are Full HD Plus 120Hz max on both OnePlus devices here. So let's wait for the stopwatch to hit the 10 minutes mark and I will be back soon. Here is a quick glimpse of the model and the specifications. So there you go. After 10 minutes of charge, OnePlus 9 Pro gets you 19% battery, which is definitely not accurate because you are already getting 27% battery level on the OnePlus 8T. If I do a battery drain test right at this moment, then maybe I will get very close results because OnePlus 9 Pro most probably keeps some charge in reserve, and OnePlus isn't the first device to do so. In fact, I have seen similar kind of results with my iPhones. Now the phones are slightly heated up at 35 and 38 degrees Celsius on the OnePlus 8T, so that's another interesting thing to note. I will take the next reading at the 15 minutes mark, so don't go anywhere. So 5 more minutes have passed and there you go, you get 34% battery on the OnePlus 9 Pro, whereas the OnePlus 8T is at 39%, well, just turned 40%. So the 9 Pro is catching up real fast. Let's see what happens till the end. Now I think a reserve battery of about 10% is quite handy sometimes, especially when you are running out of battery. The last 1 or 2% will give you enough time to make important calls or maybe turn on the power saving mode. So let's say it's not a bug, it's a feature. Maybe OnePlus will address this issue with new OTA updates. The next reading will be taken at the 20 minutes mark, so stay tuned guys. Though the devices have heated up, it's quite under limit, 37 degrees Celsius on the 8T and 36 on the 9 Pro. Okay, after 20 minutes, OnePlus 9 Pro can charge from 0 to 49%, which should be enough for at least half days of backup. And there you have 8T at 55%, very close, just 6% difference, which should not be much of concern because at lower battery levels, it's showing much better battery performance, at least in new condition. Guys, it's now 25 minutes on the stopwatch and the new OnePlus 9 Pro is at 64%, whereas the OnePlus 8T at 69%. So OnePlus 9 Pro is catching up gradually. Let's see what happens till the end. So guys, as you can see, OnePlus 9 Pro managed 78% charge in 30 minutes, so the claim of 29 minutes to full charge is not even close. OnePlus 8T is at 81%, so it's getting very close. I will be back after 5 minutes, so stay tuned guys. Friends, I'm back and OnePlus 9T is now at 90%. Let's see OnePlus 8T, which is at 92%, so it's still in the leading position. I don't know which one is going to win the test, but definitely what OnePlus claims is not true. Even if I have SIM card inserted with Wi-Fi location on, it cannot be that bad. I mean, OnePlus claims 80 charges in 39 minutes and it's getting very close. Now if you check the battery discharge graph here on the devices, at lower battery levels, as you can see, 9 Pro becomes almost flat because of the reserved battery. That's my theory, but it's definitely there. On the 8T, the battery drain is most at lower battery levels. Now OnePlus 8T and 9 Pro houses the same amount of battery juice, but on the new 9 Pro, OnePlus incorporates a new dual cell design which allows charging at a higher current level compared to its predecessor. OnePlus claims that it will be approximately 25% quicker with the new Warp Charge 65T. The previous one was simply Warp Charge 65, but in real life we cannot really see any kind of improvements. Let's wait for the devices to fully charge. At higher battery levels above 90%, the warp charger becomes extremely slow. That's why even after 40 minutes and 30 seconds of charging, the devices are not fully charged. Let's wait for a few more minutes before I conclude the video. So OnePlus 8T charged to 100% within 42 minutes, which is very close to the claimed 39 minutes, whereas OnePlus 9 Pro is still at 99%, so it lost to OnePlus 8T. Let's wait for a few more minutes. So the last 1% took more than 2 minutes, and finally OnePlus 9 Pro is at 100% in about 44 minutes. Now let's have a quick look at the line graph. So the first thing you notice is that OnePlus 9 Pro's graph starts at 3.5 minutes instead of 0, whereas OnePlus 8T is the fastest in the first 5 minutes. Then it was more or less consistent, but OnePlus 9 Pro is almost a straight line till 35 minutes. Then the charging speed declined. In fact, at higher battery levels it was almost catching up, but finally it lost to its predecessor. I'm waiting for the next update, and maybe I will update you, so keep in touch with this channel. I hope that this video was interesting. This is Shukesh signing off. Have a great day.